very last minute, very just panicky setup on stream here. Yeah, Rock Your World is not here. Just change that real quick. Alright, so we're bringing you a last minute cast here of ProBUs versus Xul Gin Distillery, some Division D action. I don't know map bans, I don't know anything. I literally got home, flipped everything on as fast as I could, and now we're here. So that's where we're at. I apologize, not knowing anything. And people went to the bathroom. So I will ask for the information. So they did swap sides, so that's interesting. But both teams running good portraits energy. We are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, so a very macro heavy map. Well, kind of. It's kind of like a macro micro. They're kind of overlap very heavily. This map either gets snowballed off of like 2 consecutive turn-ins on one side, just right from the get-go. Get 10, get turning, get 10, get a turning, and just snowball from there. Or it ends up going super late because it's kind of hard to end if you don't have that big lead. You kind of have 2 win conditions here. ProBUs won coin flip, took first pick. Xul Gin Distillery banned Volskaya and BOE. 2 very good maps. I don't know why you'd ban those. Those are fun maps. ProBUs banned Dragon and Sky Temple. Those will make a little more sense. And that was that. Now teams are saying that they are ready, so we will start any second now. They're saying let's go. Alright. I don't know much about these teams. I remember I casted Xul Gin Distillery a little bit last season, but I've not had the pleasure of running into them that much this season. Meanwhile, I've watched 1 or 2 ProBUs games, but I haven't actually really studied up on them that much. But I do know their players. I've played with their players for funsies some. So we'll see how that goes. So ProBUs here is going to have first pick. They are pretty high up. I guess I can take this time here to pull up Division D East. But ProBUs is in a contention for first place, and so is Xul Gin Distillery, though not quite as much. It's 22 points to 21 points, with Bancho at 23 currently. ProBUs and Bancho have both played 8. Xul Gin has played 9 games total so far, so we'll see how all that plays out as tonight moves on. So far the bans we have ETC, Johanna, Stukov, and we're about to get one more. All of these bans kind of make sense. There's no Ariel ban yet, no Deathwing ban yet, but I don't know really how much those are getting played. I know some teams are all in on them, some teams just don't care. There's a Blaze ban, another solid just generic pick on a lot of maps. There's the first pick, Ariel, as you'd expect from a lot of teams. She was recently nerfed, but some people think she's still OP. See, honestly, resing at 100% health is kind of the big one. I wouldn't mind them changing that to 75, but I also don't think it's as broken as people make out for. I think Aegis has a good contestation rate now as well. I think both are viable depending on what you're into, depending on how much you can get zoned out. There's a Varian Rexar, so because we see them both at the same time, it tells me it's Taunt Varian, more than likely, and offlane Rexar, because that's about the only place you put them. There's nobody out there currently main tank Rexar or DPS Rexar that I'm aware of. I'm sure someone out there is trying to make it work. There's somebody for everything. I'm a main tank Morales fan myself, and offlane Morales. I think Morales is just the most universal hero. Jaina Arthas pickup. Jaina is one of the most consistent mages at all levels of play from all time, basically, for HOTS. She's always just kind of there. She's always been pickable. She's always been decent. Her passive's pretty solid. She's been nerfed. She's been buffed. She's been all over the place. But she's just a solid pickup. Arthas, of course, can be main tank or offlane depending on their preferences. Here's the Lunara ban. Kind of makes sense if you know anything about ProBUs. You know they play a little bit. So there's all of that. Jaina probably isn't their battery here for Ariel. More likely, you could see a Vala pickup, some kind of auto attacker that can get some more consistent energy than waiting for Jaina's cooldowns. So some people go for an Ariel build that doesn't quite require that much. They could also be going into Cho'Gall with that Tychus ban. Cho'Gall has been buffed a couple times recently, and if I am on the side of Xul Gin Distillery, I am now looking at that. Arthas could be your offlaner, you have Jaina for wave clear, and then you do Ariel Cho'Gall, and you just try to snowball this map out of control. There's the KT pickup, very prevalent in kind of about mid-plat and down, I'd say. Sometimes it pops up at higher leagues, though not as often. There's the Greymane. If they go into Cho'Gall here, he can go into Bullet. If they don't, he can go for the Throat. He's a very solid assassin right now in an organized setting. Xul Gin Distillery did kind of pickle themselves into having to last pick their healer, so we kind of know almost everything we need to know about their draft right now. If you're trying to counter draft them, you only are missing that healer option. There's the Sylvanas, so they're not going Cho'Gall and Mal'Ganis. Sylvanas, Jaina, both really good macro heroes, both solid in team fights as well. I really like the draft coming out of ProBUs right now. Just all around solid. Also, thank you to both teams again for waiting. Your game was supposed to start at 9:45, and you guys waited till 10 o'clock for me to show up, and then you waited for me to set up everything, and I really appreciate it. It means a lot that teams are willing to be that flexible with their schedules sometimes. And for the last pick for Xul Gin Distillery, we're going to have Tyrande. So we have Taunt into Gravity Lapse into Tyrande Stun with Vulnerability the whole time, and you have Rexar. So you have a lot of CC options with some solid damage options as well from Xul Gin Distillery. Though their macro play will be a little bit less than on the side of ProBUs, it's not bad by any means at all. Both these drafts could easily take this game either way, and I'm excited to see how it plays out as we're about to enter Game 1 of Xul Gin Distillery versus ProBUs. And on Xul Gin Distillery, I thought my game froze for a second there. Xul Gin Distillery, we have D White playing Varian, No Boy Kyle, or Cowboy Kyle on the Rexar, led on Tyrande, Be Fresh on Greymane, and Ankle Shot playing Kael'thas. On Team ProBUs, we have 8-Bit on Mal'Ganis, Secret Asian Man on Jaina, Hung Fu on Ariel, Chaos Tank playing the Arthas, and none other than Tuna Breath herself on Sylvanas. As now we wait for the load screen. I hope everyone's having a good day today. I'm alright. There we go. There's the mouse. Hey, look at that little spider there. Can I activate the not the button I wanted? Also not the button. I don't know why. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard. Can I activate this? I can't activate the secret. No one else is either. I need to do that more often in my games. Just activate the little secrets. Yeah. It's fun. Alright, we have Q build coming out from Sylvanas. That's important to note. It's not the W build. Lion's Maul coming out from Varian. Also hints towards that Taunt Varian mana. So was chosen. They do not have a Yorick, so that's fine. Rhyme and Swift Sweep, they are going in on the bear. So Swift Animal Abuse coming out. There's the 2-man stun from Mal'Ganis, though. Will they get the sleep? They get the sleep onto the bear, but 8-Bit's going to lose some life there, but he'll be alright because they have an Ariel. 140 left on Misha. As these teams progress here, wave clear advantage is actually going over to the side of Xul Gin a little bit, or ProBUs. You clear the opponent's wave, you don't clear your own wave. Alright, but a little bit of bomb spread there already. Who's leading damage already? Out of curiosity. It is Jaina, then Kael'thas, and Sylvanas. Alright. Of course, it's the DPS options. But here we go. We have Dwight going there. Man, if they had taunt already, that would have been sick. We did get a sleep, but stun misses. Ankle Shot getting low, and is going to get picked off by the Q from Jaina there. Both teams going to potentially miss a little bit of XP here in mid. We'll see how that plays out, but they want to make sure they catch that top wave after fighting there. No. ProBUs catches it all. Xul Gin will miss a little there as they finish up top and will now move down. Remember, Wizards do not give any XP now. They only drop the glue. So they only missed 3 there, but that's a little bit there. Misha is still a little low, still trying to heal up there from that abuse that she got in the early game. Chaos Tank is sitting about half health, slightly under, but you know, he's going to cue himself and gain that right back. 5 stacks already on Lion's Maul there for Varian, as both teams are in the top lane, still just soaking around. Just shy of about a quarter level lead, I'd say. Going over to the side of ProBUs currently. Teams should start looking for camps here. We'll see if they make that play. Though ProBUs has already turned in some of their gems. This is nice. Secure those while you can if you have the moment to spare. Go ahead and get that in. Varian, of course, is going to start getting picked on here by the Mal'Ganis a little bit. As he's still not quite 4, so he's not really a hero. He's just an extra lane minion. I remember when he was a lane minion until 10. Alright, Ariel going to pick up the whip quest. Gonna try to beat some people into walls there with repeating offense. It is the taunt, of course, and the Lunar Blaze. There's the taunt going on to Mal'Ganis, followed by all that gravity collapse and Tyrande, something we talked about earlier, and Mal'Ganis will be second blood of the game. There's the Owl scouting out that Secret Asian Man Hung Fu are on the Bruiser camp, having fun down there. Logan on getting those out there for them. Doing a good job recruiting. Tuna Brief here on the Sylvanas is going to keep up on Soak the best she can. Does have possession now, but there's going to be an invade here on this camp. Ariel's going to fall because they knew from the Owl that they were kind of low. So they sent some people in there. They're still trying to figure out if they want to go for it or not. They're choosing not to. They're going to use the Sylvanas passive to not make sure that they don't lose too much here. But that was a solid invade. Secret Asian Man did use his tap there to get his mana back afterwards. What a solid invade coming out there from Xul Gin Distillery. As both teams are going to go back to that soaking game now, up 2 kills to 1. Not a whole lot, but hey, it's still early in the game. Could still become a bloodbath. Hunter-Gatherer, not going to be bold enough to go for that Animal Husbandry. 3 stacks already on Lunar Blaze, nice job. Both teams here just fighting a little bit back and forth, down to 400 health there on the Mal'Ganis. But he's a hard guy to kill at times, if you're not careful. You can't chain your CC well. Frozen Waste there on Arthas. Going for those stacks, could potentially stack it, but here's a 5-man gank onto Rexar. Do they have the CC? They definitely have the slows, if nothing else. He's going to try to get away. Cowboy Kyle is going to be the first, well, not the first to fall by any means. It's the 4th kill of the game. But it was a kill. But it is going to give Xul Gin Distillery enough time to get the first turn in, and they will try to get 10s off of these the best they can. Also, shout out to Led here, as he has the lucky red envelope, the new money mount coming out. New gold mount, not necessarily money mount. It is Energized Cord from Ariel. Not personally a fan of that talent that much, but other people seem to make it work, so good on them. Lionheart there on Variant, interesting choice. Could have gone for the, not second wind, the burst one. There's some CC going down to Mal'Ganis though. We'll see who ends up falling here. His damage is going both ways, pretty solid there. It's going to be 8-bit, Lead, Be Fresh. Could be anyone, really. There's a solid gravity lapse, though. Xul Gin is going to start to disengage, it looks like. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Rexar's pushing in as Chaos Tank was busy clearing mid. Chaos Tank has 27 gems. He's probably majority of the turn-in at this point, as solo laners generally are, honestly, on this map. Now we're going to see... Nope, they're not going to commit to that 5-man death ball here into the bot lane to go for another Rexar pickoff. Instead, you're going to defend mid a little bit here. Chaos Tank looking to finish that off. Does lose the wall, but as long as he protects the well, it's honestly not the worst. He's going to try to push Cowboy Kyle out there a little bit, but they'll all be alright. Now they're back to the double soaking lane here until the next turn in, potentially. Both teams scouting out that bush a little bit. D White's going to step up. He's going to look for someone, but he's going to be dismounted there by 8-bit. And now Be Fresh is going to secure 9 more gems for his team. So they still have about 30-ish to go before they have turned in here. Meanwhile, ProBUs is ready to turn in. They're going to go for the bot turn in maybe. Gonna look for Misha, who's stalling them out a little bit. Trying to turn in 35 on Chaos Tank. Misha's saying, I'm going to go in and bite that booty real quick before Misha goes down. There's the taunt onto Mal'Ganis, but no follow-up. Nope, Lunar Blaze came out as well. Meanwhile, Arthas is rooting the backline. There's the gravity lapse onto him. Living Bomb is potentially going to be spread here, as it's going to be Kael'thas the first to go down. Chaos Tank getting low, but so is D-White and Secret Asian Man. Grayman's going for Secret Asian Man. 50 health left, but there's the Ariel heal. Does he have enough to finish him off? Chaos Tank is getting low there. Misses the Q because the Ariel tanked it. Gonna be able to tap, and Grayman was gonna fall instead. Secret Asian Man, with the help of Hong Fu's gonna live there. There's a 3-man stun though, and Ariel's getting low again, but it doesn't matter because, or Jaina was getting low again, but Ariel doesn't matter. Had the heals, but it's gonna be Variant to finally secure Secret Asian Man's death as 10s are picked up, but ProBUs also now has turned in. As Spiders are gonna drop down, as Chaos Tank was able to go to the top tournament and secure those gems. Level 10 for both teams here. We do see the Resurrect, of course, come out. Summon Cindergosa is interesting. They're going to potentially just look to Death Ball here. Maybe even off this first objective that they secure. Carrion Swarm, Ring of Frost, Wailing Arrow. So he'll be less tanky than generally that the Arthas has. But he could potentially help snowball this by turning off buildings and towers. They do also have Savannah, so they're like doubling down on just the enemy not having the things they want. There's taunt into Lunar Blaze again. There's the bullet coming out of the 8-bit. He will go ahead and fall. But can they get the res? They are going to get the res. It's going to come right back up at full health. And all those ultimates are down now. And by all those ultimates, I really just mean Bully. There's Ring of Frost coming out onto Variant and 2 others as well. And now it's going to be the Chironda being the first to fall. Potentially Variant the next to fall. He does have the Protect, but he's going to dodge the stun there from Mal'Ganis. Now they're going to turn off the building with Sylvanas and potentially look to finish that off. Fatal Spider fell. Meanwhile, Bot Spider got the wall and well. So slight advantage in the bot lane going over to the side of ProBUs now as they secure top fort as well. That passive XP plus the catapults every 3 waves will go in their favor. They have another turn in available. Hong Fu with 38 now, picking up a lot of the ones that fell off of Mal'Ganis. Chaos Tank with another 27. If 8-bit can just stall here, they get the turn in, and it's secured. Double Spider Wave. Double Spider Wave is usually when you start to snowball. Chaos Tank is going to back. He's going to try to probably rush out to lane immediately afterwards. Potentially do a 5-man Death Ball down mid or something using Summon Cindergosa and some other ultis. They don't have Ring of Frost, Wailing, or Resi quite yet. Carrion Storm also down for another 20 seconds. Meanwhile, the side of Xul Gin Distillery is really only missing Lunar Fall, which is good for healing, but isn't really required for their game plan if they're able to get a quick pick here with the taunt. There's the taunt going out to Varian. There's the Bullet Lunar Flare combo coming out again. Ariel was able to get healed, but he will fall to the Living Bomb there in the background. But they have the Resurrect already, so the Resurrect comes back out. Now we have Ring of Frost. Everything's up now as the 20 seconds have passed on the side of ProBUs. And there comes the taunt. Summon Cindergosa. Ring of Frost only going to land on Chironda, but will it be enough? It will, as 2 more fall for the side of Xul Gin. They're under the Lunar Flare, but it doesn't matter because Chironda's dead. She's not getting healing. Meanwhile, Gravian's down to 70 health. It's going to be subbed and then picked off by the Ariel. Living Bomb's going to spread. Will it be enough? It will not be enough to kill anyone. Now they're using the Savannah's passive preemptively just to make sure this building doesn't get any shots off. Meanwhile, now they're just going to heal up from the Ariel AoE heal. It's basically a 2/3 Q on a 4-second cooldown and doesn't cost mana. And hits AoE. It's a really solid ability when you think about it that way. Meanwhile, they're just going to go to the top lane now with the remainder of this Spider and look for a keep. Could they get the first keep of the game? Meanwhile, Bottom Spider is still pushing. Got that for it and is going to look for that keep. So they do get the first keep. It is top lane, which is very important because top lane is the lane with the most possible win conditions, as it has both boss and spider waves that will come down the lane. Meanwhile, every other lane has either the siege camp or a bruiser camp and spiders, and it's really hard to end with just the siege camp or bruiser camp. Rex is going to go clean up that bot lane. That's a lot of gems for them, as now Xul Gin Distillery has turned in available to them. This has quite been the action-packed game. I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute since it started. Pyromaniac here on Kael'thas getting that extra CDR. Juggernaut, so they are really just looking to pick off like Mal'Ganis here at the beginning. Jane's going to pick up the siege camp from the bottom. That's going to continue to apply pressure down there. Bruiser camp is going to be picked up here meanwhile on the side of Xul Gin Distillery. I feel like ProBUs should have been on theirs a little bit quicker, but that's alright. They have the time to do it. It's 14-14, but 15 now on the side of ProBUs. Not that it means they're closer to 16, but it doesn't mean that they have any distinguishable advantages just yet. 20 stacks on Hunter Gatherer currently. Jaina build. She's almost got the ice block. Or enhanced ice block, is that what it's called? Improved ice block. There's the Toronto stun, but she was also stunned out herself. Arthur's going to take the bullet this time as he's going to be going down. But Ariel is going to get the double whip there. And now the resurrection coming out onto Arthas as well. So it's effectively a 6v5 right now. Varian's going to take quite a bit of damage. He's going to look for the taunt, but the Secret Asian Man is going to heal up again. And he's going to go down on the side of Varian. There's the Ice Block coming out from Jaina. I think she may have had a Living Bomb on her. Maybe not. Maybe it's just like, hey, I have an ability. Let's press it because it's new. That's alright. Remorseless there on Sylvanas. Also, not really a huge fan of that talent. A lot of people take it. I personally just don't think it's as good as minus armor. Because not only is it minus 25 on the person you're focusing, it's minus 10 on anyone else it spreads to, and that's just good. But that's alright, so it's plus 1 auto attack range. Or is it 1? Yeah, it's 1. I couldn't remember if it was 1 or 1.1. It also just gives you a little bit extra damage, but that's alright. That's alright. Willow the Forsaken coming out for Sylvanas as well. Numbing Blast, of course, for Jaina. Like bats. Bats there. Some extra E-build talents here coming out from Arthas that you don't necessarily normally see. ProBUs still working on saving up for their next turn in. Meanwhile, Xul Gin looking for an opportunity to turn theirs in. A lot of ultis are about to be back up for ProBUs here, so this fight most likely will just go their favor again. And it is 16-16 now. There's the root interrupting that first one. Misha is going to scout out the bush, so they're just going to back off on Xul Gin, understanding that currently they haven't really been winning that many fights. They're going to finish up picking the rest of their 16s. It is Spell Power Banner coming out from Varian. Not the armor to make him tankier, but Spell Power to try to make them burst better. There's the taunt onto Varian, there's the Bullet Lunar Flare, but there's the whip from Ariel once again, potentially saving his life. He is going to fall in the end, but again, they have Resurrect if she's able to get into space of it, but Misha's zoning out pretty well. There's a Ring of Frost that's going to hit Varian. Tuna Breath is doing her best on Sylvanas, but is going to fall in the end. There's the Rexar Stun, and they're going to pop Arthas in the end as well. Who will Ariel choose to res? She has 3 choices here on who to res. She did tap. Jaina is walking away to do something. She should just res someone, honestly. Maybe they're discussing it. There's going to be a turn-in boss play coming out from Xul Gin that could honestly just turn the entire game around. They could potentially go through everything with it. Looks like Ariel is going to save the Resurrect for the next race. It is 80. They are down for another 16. I guess it's at this point you definitely just let them res. You're giving the fort, you're going to defend at the keep, they'll be up by the time everything gets to the keep, they'll be able to join the team. 8-Bit's stepping up pretty far there. And since he has been their focus target, they have built their entire comp basically to kill him, and kill him real quick it seems. He needs to be careful. He's going to back up now to the keep along with everyone else. We'll see how this plays out now, as both teams are going to be ready to go. There is no Ring of Frost for another 10 seconds, no Wailing for 20, but they do have Summon Cindergosa that they've been holding on to. Hopefully he's not going to be too greedy. Can use it to turn off some things here. But we'll see what they decide to do. The wall is about to drop, and now there goes Summon Cindergosa and the Phoenix. Fire Knight's coming out. There's the bullet, and onto Mal'Ganis actually ate that. Q coming out from Kael'thas is going to get a kill. They're going to go ahead and pop the res onto Arthas here, but Mal'Ganis is going to fall there as well. Now they're focusing down Greymane. He's going to fall next in this fight. It's 1-for-1 currently, even though there was a res to negate one of the two, technically. So technically it was 1-for-2, but then there was a res, so really it's just at the point where it's 1-for-1. But the Spider and Boss are both pushing in here. Spider's almost dead, but Boss has got a lot of health left on him. Ankle Shot's getting a little bit low there on the KT. We'll see what happens there, but there's the taunt onto Chaos Tank. Meanwhile, Misha is sending out Hong Fu there in the backline. 50% left on core. Will this just be a massive turnaround in game? Let's find out here real shortly. There's a gravity lapse onto Ariel, and that is game 1, going over to Xul Gin Distillery. What an action-packed game. These are the kind of games we like. Lots of action, lots of back and forth, and then just an ending that kind of comes up and bites you in the butt before you know it. Rexar having the most self-healing. Ariel having the most overall healing, beating out Tyrande by 4k, or about. 11 kills to 12, very even game. You might not think that watching some of that mid game, but at the end there, Xul Gin just kind of came back with a vengeance. They got the boss Spider turning off of one fight, and they just snowballed and rolled down the lane. Like they were pulling up to the club. Alright, we have Sylvanas Jaina here at the top of the hero damage, but Arcalphas up there as well. Greymane, a little bit lower than I would have thought, honestly. Arthas, his hero damage is just beating up Misha in the off lane. Not that exciting. But it's really, this is where the big difference is, like, right? Like, ProBUs was topping the hero damage, but the siege damage was just being controlled by Xul Gin. So, that was game 1 of Xul Gin versus ProBUs. Excited to see where we go for game 2. Let's review real quick. Xul Gin banned Volskaya and BOE. ProBUs banned Dragon and Sky. ProBUs seemed like they were generally better at the teamfights, so I imagine they will focus on a more teamfight heavy map. So, not Volskaya, not BOE. They just played Tomb. So what's left for team fight? Could do something on Towers of Doom where you do the 4-1 split. I did. I shaved. No bow tie because it was last minute, and I shaved last Friday. Also new glasses. Thanks for noticing that though. But we will yeah, so teamfight maps, not BOE, not Tomb, not Volskaya. I'm gonna guess that if they take map pick on ProBUs, it was enough back and forth that you could just go for first pick, go for the Ariel again, or something else. Let's see. Like a Towers of Doom, that's what I was talking about. Towers of Doom. 4 in the bot lane, hard pushing the whole time. 1 top lane, double soaking. And that would allow them just to teamfight a lot more. And teamfighting is what they were generally doing better. So I liked, that's kind of where I would be for them. If they go for first pick again, it's probably just going for Ariel, and you probably ban it out this time. But they could leave it up. They did handle it in the end. So, really a lot of options there for what they could do. I feel like they're pretty even, which makes sense because they're both top teams they're together in Division D East. Only 1 point separating them so far, but 1 extra game played on the side of Xul Gin. So, I think that, well, honestly, it looks like Bancho, ProBUs, and Xul Gin are just the top 3 teams for Division D East. It's just a matter of them shuffling out who's going to end up where in the end. So we will, very exciting. Should pay a little bit more attention to that division, I guess. It's always fun when the division's close. Like Division B East, meanwhile, can do a 3 under very, very specific circumstances, can actually get a 4-way tie for first place. Meanwhile, right now, I believe it's right now, Who Knows Gaming versus Pro is basically contention for who gets second place in Division B West. I remember that. I played Division B West. I should remember that. If Pro gets a 2-0 victory, they get second place. If they get anything else, they get third place. So that's exciting as well, because it comes down to that one game. And Lurk Patrol is the team that they're trying to get second away from. We are going to Infernal Shrines, and it looks like ProBUs chose to take first pick. So, that's where we are. So ProBUs chose first pick. Xul Gin Distillery said, let's take them to Infernal Shrines. That's interesting. I would have expected more of like Curse Hollow from them. Something that's very kind of macro oriented. Infernal Shrines can be played macro style, but you're still forced to show up to the objective and still fight there. So, in the end, you still need to have that teamfight presence, and a lot of the early fights were going to the way of ProBUs. So, we're about to start draft. We'll see what they have in mind. Maybe they have something in mind. Maybe it's taking the Jaina. Maybe it's taking the Sylvanas. Maybe it's just banning out the Ariel this time. Xul Gin has a lot of options, and it was a very close game. So by no means is it like ProBUs wins team fights, Xul Gin wins macro. No, it is very back and forth, very close on both sides. It's whoever can inch out a lead and keep it in the end. So here we are. So what does ProBUs think should be banned? And first off, they say the ETC. That makes sense. ETC is probably one of the top 3 tanks right now. Johanna is another one, another great ban. Also very good on this map specifically. So that's what that ban is. This ban, last time they used it for Stukov, this time they're taking away the variant, saying taunt variant. Solid, and we were going to respect it, so nice respect ban coming out from ProBUs. Now we're going to see a ban come out from Xul Gin here. You can ban a lot of things. They have a lot of options. All the things are ban worthy. If they don't ban it, this will just be a first pick Ariel again. ProBUs clearly likes it. They did good on it. It is the first ban Ariel. So they could go into Sylvanas, they could go into Cooldown, they could go into Jaina, they could go into tank of some kind. Garrosh, for instance, is very solid. Does not throw the monkeys on this map, but can throw people. Not a map you normally see Li Ming on, and also probably don't want to first pick it. You could go for Sylvanas, but they are going to opt and say Jaina is the one we want. Dreadlord Jaina coming out for ProBUs 2 games in a row here. We'll see if this time around she can secure the W for them. And let's see, what is Xul Gin gonna pick? Last time they picked the... Well, doesn't matter what they picked last time. This time around they're picking Blaze Stukov. A nice solid combo. Stuns, slows, silence, a lot of CC options already available for them. And it's Greymane Deathwing. Greymane probably one of the better counters to Deathwing with the bullet. And Deathwing, now kind of goes uncontested. Well, not really uncontested. There's still Malthael, there's still Tychus. There's still Leoric. Leoric is good in lane, kind of works in the team fight. Nazebo is a pretty solid counter as well. Gazlo's actually topping one of the charts for the win rate against Deathwing. There's the Mal'Ganis man, which makes sense because that's the tank they played last time. You already have your tank, if you're choosing to Blaze tank, which they're actually not, because that's Cowboy Kyle who played Rexar last game. But doesn't mean they couldn't pick something like the Rexar and swap it. There's the Tychus ban coming out for ProBUs, same thing that they did last time, so that's probably a target ban of some kind. Excited, we get to see a Deathwing. I mean, this is my first Deathwing cast. Excited for that. So, ProBUs still has to pick their tank and healer, so that's most likely what they're going into, of course. Unless they're going to go for something really spicy like no tank, no healer. One of those. There's the Mephisto coming out. Nice solid choice. There's the Garrosh coming out as well. I like it. Garrosh could potentially punish the Greymane. I think Deathwing does eat the throw if he's the closest one, but his hitbox isn't as large as his image, so we'll see how that plays out. This is interesting. Will be solid into Deathwing post 16, but before that it's a little awkward. There's Anduin Murden. I actually like that. I really like the Anduin with the Greymane Murden here. One, because you have 2 people that can carry in Light Bomb very well, right? They both have leaps. Murden especially could leap Avatar with a Light Bomb on top of him and be in the middle of their backline with a lot of health and a stun, and then a follow-up stun very quickly. Greymane could jump in with the damage and start burning someone really quickly with the Light Bomb, so then he has his own CC option, and we could also pull one of them out if they are behind. There's the Lunara. Lunara being picked actually decently often into Deathwing. The constant poke harass into Deathwing is what you're going for there. Try to burn him down over time. So, out of the 2 drafts, if you ignore the opposing team draft, I like Xul Gin more. But if you're comparing it directly across the table, I think ProBUs has a very solid draft. Bullet into Garrosh is very solid, or he could go for the throat. He does have to be careful about the amount of CC, but that's fine. He's going to do alright into that. Here we go, though. We have Dwight on Garrosh, Cowboy Kyle playing Blaze, Be Fresh on Lunara, Ankle Shot playing Mephisto, and Led on Stukov, that representing Xul Gin Distillery. Across the Nexus, we have on Team ProBUs, we have 8-Bit on Murden, Hung Fu on Anduin, Secret Asian Man on Jaina, Tuna Breath on Greymane, and Chaos Tank bringing Cataclysm on Deathwing. The other big part of this map, though, is the objective clear, and ProBUs does have the advantage there. Mephisto isn't the worst, but he isn't that great unless he has someone there working with him. Nara can do it, but dot damage always takes time to tick down. Meanwhile, you have like Greymane Jaina that can just kind of chunk things down really quickly. Third Wind coming out from Meriden, nice safe choice there, lets him go in and now. Looks like we're going to get Q build coming out from Greymane, able to explode that cocktail off of the monkeys. Dragon Soul for Deathwing, nice classic talent there. Renewal, Furious Spark on Mephisto. Actually kind of like that talent here. I think that's really good. High digital. And Leo and Patience in Bear. Alright, Warbreaker, of course, there's the stun onto Garrosh. I like the jump out after you stun him. You stun him, throw a little bit of damage, and jump out before he can toss you. Very solid play there from 8-bit. Alright, trying to keep him dismounted there. They're going to look for the throw, but it's a Meriden. He's just going to jump out. They're using the Stukov silence currently for that wave clear. There we go. Mephisto's going to throw a little bit. They do get the Meriden. Could have jumped this way and been safer, but that's fine. He's fine. He's still alive. He's got third win. Literally did nothing to him, basically. He's got more health regen than anything else. And in the end, it just doesn't matter. There's the point-blank Anduin throw, but there's the root underneath the blizzard. There's going to be the Greymane follow-up, and Garrosh will be first blood. Now, in the top lane, we have Deathwing just going to Q down the wave and then walk up and heal off of Cowboy Kyle there with his wing flappy flap. Kung Fu grabbing that mid XP while the rest of his team fights in the bot lane. 8-bit will be just fine again. Because until that health bar hits 0, as long as he's able to disengage, damage on him means practically nothing. Because third win. Also, his passive in general is so strong. Like, look at this. His health bar is already back. Didn't matter. All that was just wasted cooldown efficiently. Effectively. As we have Ankle Shot trying to clear the bot wave here, we do have Be Fresh in the mid lane. He's going to have to clear that out. No camp done yet on the side of Xul Gin. ProBUs doing a solid job getting that out. There's the silence on a Meriden, but again, it's a Meriden with third win. He doesn't really care if you put damage on him. As long as his health bar doesn't reach 0, and he's able to get out in the end, he's always going to be okay. And be able to get back really fast. Kung Fu, though, in a lot of trouble here as Garrosh is now behind, waiting for the throw opportunity. There's the throw. He's surrounded by 4 members of Xul Gin, and he will go down. That's first blood of Xul Gin. Xul Jin's first kill. Going over. But meanwhile, ProBUs is going to pick out the bottom siege camp. There's the Garrosh. I think he missed a throw there somehow. I'm not sure. But he didn't miss a Q in the end, and then he's going to walk away. Heat Wave coming out there from Deathwing, of course. Now pushing Blaze back in that lane. Pretty solid matchup, it looks like, for the Deathwing, because Blaze isn't hyper-aggressive. Like, the character just doesn't play that way, and that's fine. Now he gave him the Burning Ore, he's going to wave clear even faster. So I don't know how he didn't tank the tower shot there. I feel like it had to aggro to him. Now he's going to start shooting the wave. ProBUs doing a good job getting on their bruiser camp here. Meanwhile, the siege camp is just now being picked up by Xul Gin. I don't know if they were purposely saving it for the objective or if they just got thrown off in their rotations. Looks like whether Deathwing's in the bush is going to Q that down. Explains where he's been getting some of the damage from. Xul Gin was looking for a fight but was unable to find it. There's the throwback onto Anduin. The one person he can't pull out is himself. He's going to end up falling down to the Lunar. Dot damage. Meriden is going to go ahead and jump out and save, and the rest of the 3 members of ProBUs will disengage on that. Ooh, we have the never mind. He doesn't have the talent yet. Meanwhile, Deathwing has finished a tower and the gate. Cowboy Cow getting a little low there, but no real damage threat currently. Don't lose 1 plate there on the side of the Deathwing. Doesn't have 7, so I imagine he just stays on the ground currently. Maybe taps, but could not. Could just go for this. And currently, we have Xul Gin gonna start working on that objective. They're waiting for Jaina to show up here. Secret Asian Man did back. Oh, I like that mount synergy. Like it. Nice job on Tuna Breath too. Like, you guys are matching Mr. Mounts very well. There's the dive forward onto Lunar from the Deathwing. Mephisto going out trying to get that damage. Meanwhile, Secret Asian Man getting low, but he's going to be pulled back by Kung Fu there on the Anduin. Deathwing just wrecking chaos right now. Mephisto jumping forward, but is going to get pulled back to his shade, as is his E ability does. And Secret Asian Man really the only person who took significant damage, because again, Murden has third wind, and all that damage is already negated. There's going to be a stun for stun there, and he's just going to jump away. And look, ProBUs already has the advantage in Wave Flare. They're going to throw the 8-bit Murden in, but the Deathwing's walking up and getting that Burning Aura going very well. There's the Q onto anyone, really. Not really that big. 8-bit's just going to need like 2 seconds to heal, especially now that he's tapped. Deathwing is hiding in those bushes. Does he have Cataclysm to get out? He does have Cataclysm. What's going to happen here is he's just going to get out with 10 health. I imagine he'll fly and start using Skyfall soon. But nope, he's just going to tap and look back. Even though he doesn't have the armor, he's saying this is okay. You need 6 more on the side of ProBUs. Meanwhile, you need about 13 more on the side of Xul Gin Distillery. 8-bit looking in. He's going to go in with about half health. Does he have the jump out? He does not, so he's going to end up falling here in the end. Meanwhile, Ankle Shot is getting kind of low. He's going to end up going back, but to get a little bit of a heal there from the Stukov. And it's going to be Secret Asian Man. It's going to be the next one to fall as he was taking dot damage from Lunar, it looks like. Meanwhile, Tuna's trying to finish. Mephisto will do so, but will she be able to get out? There's the root, but they also got stunned. There's the silence follow-up, and Tuna Breath will die to John Cena himself on the Punisher. Hung Fu's going to tap up, and we'll probably look to concede this a little bit. Loses the wall, taps him back. That's alright. Sometimes you gotta tap him back. Boom, boom, and comes back. See, now he's gonna take up the rest of his mana. Meanwhile, Deathwing is getting some soak in the bot lane here. They will probably lose this fort. They will lose this fort. I'm just gonna call it now. They lose the top fort, but that's alright. First fort of the game, going over to Xul Gin Distillery. If you remember game 1, first fort of the game went over to the side of ProBUs. So first fort of the game does not necessarily mean you win. Level 9 to level 8 currently on the side of... That was a really good jump. Nice job, 8-bit. I'm really impressed with that. I couldn't do that. But you can. And I'm impressed with that. Congratulations. Deathwing down here with Cowboy Kyle on the blaze. I just like saying that name. Cowboy Kyle. Chaos Tank is just going to walk out because he's got perma unstoppable. Gonna lose 1 plate for that. But that's it. Doing A-okay. How much health he's got right now? 2,800. Pretty good. And here we go. I'm sorry, there we go. We got the fly in from Cataclysm there on the Chaos Tank, but they're trying to stun out the Mephisto. He's going to get thrown out by Garrosh. There's the silence on the Murden, and the Mephisto's now showing up. I think I already said Mephisto. That was the wrong name earlier. But anyways, Chaos Tank is now going to leave as 10s are picked up on the side of Xul Gin, so they're going to go ahead and invade the siege camp here. ProBUs really just needs to concede this. Go get 10 real quick from the bot lane or something, and go in for it. It is Combustion, Leaping Strike, Durance of Hate, Flaming Strip, and Warlord Challenge. I know it's Taunt, but I don't really know the name. There's Bolt coming out on someone as 10s are also picked up there. There's the Light Bomb onto Murden. There's the Durance of Hate, though, to keep him in place. Ring of Frost also landing. D-Wit getting pretty low. He's going to be the first to fall here, but 8-bit's getting super low as well. Is unable to get heals in time. Now Tuna is looking to disengage here, but Hong Fu's the one in trouble in the side lane on his own. Unable to get to the fort in time, will die to the Mephisto. 2 for 1 going in favor of Xul Gin. Meanwhile, you do have Deathwing in the top lane. He's going to secure another tower. So that's not nothing, as the next objective is mid, but the next objective after that one has a chance to go top. That will mean something if they get it. Meanwhile, you have Xul Gin going to pick up their own siege camp this time, and Chaos Tank's going to back up and Kiss is a full-fledged gang. He is actually very vulnerable here. Cataclysm is up in 4. He did take the Cataclysm upgrade at 10 instead of the Fear. I really like the Fear personally, but that's alright. Sometimes it's better to take this one, I agree. Excuse me. Ring of Frost, of course, on the Jane. We saw that come out. Light Bomb as well, Avatar. And Bullet, and now they're just going to try to burn the Garrosh real quick. He's going to get healed up by the Stukov and survive with like 250 health. I think it was the lowest number I was able to catch. But he is going to back, so that means they are going to concede this camp. They're going to kill the Wisp real quick. Leave no Wisp left alive. Now, Be Fresh here needs to be careful as they're going to get stunned by the Murden. There's the Blink Forward on the Mephisto, but it's going to be Tuna Breath finishing off the Lunara there with that Greymane damage. Meanwhile, Deathwing is knowing that they're all bot. He's going to push up and try to get the well here in the top lane. Going to have to back out. Will he turn and Q it? I think that's the play. Turn and Q it. He's going to just back off. Meanwhile, you're going to have Led and D White here in the bot lane trying to clean up that siege camp a little bit before the next objective. And on par with the first objective, ProBUs here is going to pick up their Bruiser camp right on time. And a little bit slower on the side of Xul Gin, but not too far behind. Chaos Tank here is going to walk up and queue it now and get that top well. So even if they fight for the top lane, they have a shorter retreat path on the side of Xul Gin, but neither team has a sustained advantage of the well. Now we're going to see both teams here go for the point of the monkeys. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, ProBUs' clear is decently fast with their combination they have of DPS. So they're currently already up to 21. There's the throw onto Murden, there's the taunt, but there's the light bomb coming out and the bullet as well going onto Garrosh there as they're trying to focus him down real quick. Same kind of play as last team, where both teams just kind of focus tanks. There's the Blaze Stun though. There's the combustion going to be interrupted. This is not going to be a full channel. There's the Stukov silence and the root coming out, going to kill one, maybe two. Nope, the heal's going to go out onto Murden in time, but now Anduin's in trouble. Is going to be thrown back and die. Meanwhile, Greymane and Deathwing are going to finish the Punisher. It is a mortal Punisher. How far? He has Cataclysm, so he should be okay if he has to use it. He is going to go ahead and use it here. Since it was the Lunara, probably could have not used it, but better safe than sorry, because probably wasn't in a position where you were checking your minimap too often. Now it is up to Xul Gin to clear this as fast as they can and lose as little as possible. They lost the gate and the sidewall. They're going to lose one tower, and that's going to be all she wrote for that Punisher. Nope, we're going to take another sidewall. Sidewalls don't mean much more than vision and a little bit of extra pathing available. 8-Bit's going to jump that wall to make sure he doesn't get thrown by the white there on the Garrosh. She's been playing pretty well this game, all things considered. Shred of Hate. Alright. Here we are. Greater Spell Shield. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright. Alright. We're checking out some talents. We're here. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and invade this camp again on the side of Xul Gin. They're going to throw 8-Bit in. They're going to get the taunt and stun off. And the silence, so he's just going to end up falling in the end. That's sad. Was unable to get Avatar out. 11 stacks on Cocktail Quest so far for Greymane. So 1 for nothing there. But again, Deathwing in the top lane, going to try to take that forward. If you remember, when the devs were showing off Deathwing, they came to this map at one point, and they showed off specifically this style of Deathwing, where you're split pushing constantly on Deathwing. He's going to go ahead and take the sky here in case something happens. Also get that last plate left. He was at 3 plates instead of 4 plates. So now he's going to have all 4 because his health bar was also full. Meanwhile, the bottom siege camp is going to go to the side of Xul Gin Distillery. Jane is going to finish her globe quest. 15 stacks for Burden currently on his baseline quest. 14 stacks for Warbreaker. So the next Warbreaker stun will secure that. Meanwhile, Chaos Tank and Cowboy Kyle duking out here in the top lane again. The later this game goes, especially the 16 power spike of Static Field here, is going to give Mephisto a lot more scary presence in these teamfights. He's going to be able to start chunking basically an entire plate off Deathwing. If he's able to get that to full stacks, while Deathwing is nearby inside of that range. But Icy Veins is a solid pickup too from Jino, but that was at 13. They're looking for 16 now on the side of ProBUs. Xul Gin Distillery is pushing in here. Got a tower, got a sidewall, got the gate, gonna get the other tower. Now they're pushing in. Meanwhile, Deathwing got about half a fort up here. Bird is trying to clear the mid-siege camp that took the whole wall. I think they still had the whole wall before that went out, but I could be wrong. There's the last stack for Cocktail Quest for Greymane. And just another 2 second off the cooldown, so it's minus 4 seconds from the baseline cooldown. There's Alpha Killer there. Also, they're going to go on to the Murden, who took an aggressive rotation. There's Ring of Frost is going to land on 2. There's going to pop off on Stukov there, get the kill on there. Garrosh, though, is getting super low as well, is going to go be the next to die. Mephisto is trying to do what he can, but is going to get stunned out by Light Bomb and fall down as well. And that is a 3-for-0 trade in favor of Team ProBUs right before the objective spawns at the 16-minute mark. This is about the point where it was turned around last game for Xul Gin. Are we about to see the turnaround go in favor of ProBUs? Let's find out. As the match continues, here we go. There's the some poke damage going out onto Murden. But again, doesn't matter third win. There's the bullet onto Blaze, though, and they're just going to pop him. One good stun root combo there is going to be enough for them to kill the Blaze. Nice stagger Delph. He's about 30 seconds behind the Mephisto, which was the last kill in the previous batch of deaths on Xul Gin. And I like this. sending just like 1 or 2 back to get the objective while the rest push and get the fort, trying to make sure that they can go straight for the keep and potentially try to get the GG out of this. Ooh, they found the Murden, who's gonna get Leaping Strike there, but there's the taunt onto 2. There's the bullet, though, onto Garrosh. There's the root coming out from Mephisto in that choke point. Soon Breath is gonna jump up a little bit. There's the Light Bomb coming down. A good trade of ults, but not quite anything getting secured just yet. Excuse me, getting a little parched. There's the Mephisto jumping forward, trying to get that damage. Is going to take that plate from Deathwing, but there goes the Frozen Punisher. This is a really solid one for ProBUs, as Frozen Punisher will turn off buildings for them, which allows them to be more aggressive here. And Deathwing, of course, could cataclysm across the wall with it. He's going to sit off to the side here. Does have the reset, so if they get the keep, he can fly over the core and get some extra damage there. The Murder's going to jump the wall as well. There's the bullet going down onto Garrosh. He's just forced out of this fight instantly. There's the big Stukov heal down already. Now, I feel like they should just press forward. Super aggressive here. Half health. A little over half health. 56% left on the Punisher. There's this another jump. There's the Ring of Frost coming out. It's going to land onto 3. It looks like Garrosh is going to get... Or Blaze is going to throw him out by the Garrosh. But he's going to walk back to try to get the combustion. He's going to fall. So will Garrosh here in the end. As there goes the keep. It looks like we're going to be going to a game 3. As there's another jump. And it's going to pop off on Mephisto. We're going to also finish the hammer quest for Murden. Meanwhile, Jane is still waiting to finish her quest. But there's the root silence combination onto 8-bit there. But it doesn't really matter because he's third win and no one else is finishing him off. Stukov is going to take the next jump. But it doesn't really matter because the rest of the team for ProBUs is going to ignore it. And they're going to focus on B-Fresh a little bit. But most likely they're just going to finish core. And we're going to game 3. It's ProBUs is going to take game 2. Alright, here's the stats screen. I'm going to grab a quick drink here. Just need to walk over the fridge, grab it out of there. Alright, what are these stats saying? Stats are saying that Deathwing, of course, soaked the most XP, which makes sense. We saw him split push quite a bit. Honestly, kept him in the XP game pretty well. Lunara, they're taking the top hero damage, makes sense. They went pretty late. Then you have Lunara and Mephisto, and then you have a huge chunk here of ProBUs. Only Hong Fu not breaking out above the 3 lower damage members of Xul Gin Distillery. That was exciting. Another exciting one. These teams go back and forth. It really comes down to that last. It's like the 16 fight. At one point, people said you win one fight at 20 and you win. These teams are playing. You win one fight at 16 and you're winning that game. So that's very exciting. Alright, so this is the first time that Xul Gin has had their choice of what they want. ProBUs won coin flip, lost game 1, so they gotta pick their choice for game 2. So far, Xul Gin has picked both maps. They could opt for map pick and pick again. Or they could take first pick and go for a whatever pick they want. They could go for the Ariel, they could go for... I don't know if they'll first pick Deathwing or not. Deathwing got through the first draft, but not the second draft. So now you have to go, well, are they going to play him in game 3? Are they going to not play him in game 3? Do they play it on certain maps? Do they just play it in general? Do they just hide it in game 1? There's a lot of questions you got to be asking yourself right now about that Deathwing, if you're scared of it. Or you could be going, alright, this time around, we're going to pick Greymane earlier. Or some other counter that you prefer. So, that is going on there. If they go for first pick. If if I get a cup, I've dirtied the cup. Then I have to wash the cup. Anyways, if ProBUs ends up with map pick, I would like to see Towers of Doom from them again. I think that's my recommendation again. Go for that team fight, kind of drawn out maps a little bit. They play well at 10s. This time around we saw that they were losing fights pre-10. But started to come back a little bit in time, but we're getting picked off a little bit. So on a map where you might not be rotating as much as Towers of Doom, if you're just doing the 4-man bot strat, 1 double soaker, then you might not have to worry about getting that pick off as much. if you go to other maps, you might run into a situation where someone is rotating on their own, gets hit by that 1cc again. Xul Gin is playing a very good pick-off game. They're doing a very good job of focusing down a single target at a time. They went Tom Variant, then they went Garrosh. That seems to be their playstyle. I imagine if both of those are gone, maybe they'll go into Stitches. Go for that same style again. It's clearly been something that they've been doing decently well with. They're in the top 3 of their division. What more do you want from them? And the answer is hammer strats and off-lane rounds. Those are the things we really want. That's really what we're here for. Fingers crossed. Or Butcher. Butcher's always fun. Shout out to Randy Newman's, because Butcher's fun to watch. I enjoy Butcher games. Watching them. Playing them is kind of 50-50. Do you have a Butcher that gets stacked super early? That's fun to play with. Are you facing a Butcher that gets stacked super early? That's not as fun with. There's some heroes that are like that. They're fun to play with, but they're not fun to play against. Alright, so it looks like we have a lobby. For a second it popped up saying he was playing quick match, and I was like, did they accidentally queue up and get a game? That'd be sad. Alright, so we are going to Towers of Doom. It looks Xul Gin Distillery picked first pick, which means ProBUs got that pick, and they picked Towers of Doom. That's exactly what I want from them. So, I'm excited. Don't know if they're listening or not. If you are, shame on you. Wait till after the game. So, I will tell them I'm ready. So, Towers of Doom. I like the 4-man bot, 1-man double soaking strat. I think it's very solid. Both teams are ready, so we're about to go. Of note, looks like ProBUs has swapped their banner from Tuna to keep it. That's exciting. So here we are. We're in draft Towers of Doom, a map that, unless you get absolutely blown out of, always goes to basically 20. 16 is guaranteed, basically. The only way you end, I think you can end at 13 if you do a 36-0. So you only give up one of the first 3 respawns, basically. And the other option is a 40-0. I think you end at approximately level 12 generally, I think is what it is, like 11, 12. Maybe you hit 13 depending on how long these get poked out before you secure them. Johanna ban once again from Xul Gin. Makes sense. Solid tank. Solid option. Don't want to hand it over. Johanna consistently has been the #1 second pick for a while now. Sometimes you first pick her, but a lot of times you're just going picking her in the 2-3. There's the ETC ban, of course. That's been banned out. So both these picks have been banned out both games so far. So, could see an Ariel ban unless Xul Gin wants to first pick it. It's going to be the Anduin ban. Found that annoying. Makes sense. Anduin can be super annoying, of course, especially if he's saving your picks because you like to go pick off comps. What else is on? This has been a Stukov ban before. This has been a... what's the ban? Be a lot of things. Deathwing's still up, Ariel's still up, Dra's still up, Medivh's still up. Give me the Varian ban again, that makes sense. Game 1, Varian gave him a lot of trouble. Definitely felt like it was more consistent than the Garrosh was, because he has a charge into taunt. It's gonna be the first pick Ariel, but this time in favor of Xul Gin Distillery. So we'll see how they play the Ariel this time around compared to how ProBUs played it in game 1. Well, they can't swap drives because the variant's already been banned. So, what is ProBUs' way of dealing with that? Let's find out. They have about 5 seconds left to pick. 5 seconds now to pick their first 2 picks. So, what's their 1-2? What's their big punch opener? It's Li Ming Stukov. Li Ming Stukov. Interesting. Kind of expecting to see Green, honestly. Ming getting the resets, right? So Ariel can look to maybe forfeit a kill because they can res. Li Ming says, if you give us that one kill, as you're looking for that res value, I'm just going to start to snowball the fight. Try my best to snowball the fight. Doesn't always work, but she's going to do her best. Snowball the fight. There's a Kael'thas Greymane going over the side of Xul Gin. I like those combo. I like it. They have the CC from Gravity Labs. They have the whip. Ariel. Greymane, of course, has bullet or throat, both solid ultimates. We could maybe see a bullet Pyroblast combo. That'd be fun to watch. Watch someone slowly get ran down. And Garrosh ban makes sense. Garrosh was their tank last game, so trying to force them into the most awkward tank they can. And of course, ProBUs has the next tank pick available, because they have the next picks available. So we will see what they end up going into here next. The ban first from Xul Gin Distillery needs to be addressed. And they're going to ban Melguinus, because Melguinus did well game 1. And now they don't have the variant taunt combo, try to blow it up. It's a little bit harder to lock them down. So last time around, they played Muradin on the side of ProBUs. Could go into Muradin again. Could go into a main tank Blaze. Could go into a main tank Dahaka if they want spicy main tank Uthers available. That'd be fun. Let's see a main tank Uther. There's a Leoric for the offlane. It's gonna be main tank Blaze. I'm not upset about that. Main tank Uther would have been awesome, but main tank Blaze is perfectly fine. We take those here. Leoric is good too. There's the Anubarak, which is funny. Anubarak and Li Ming have probably one of the most interesting and fun dynamics between the two characters when they're on opposite teams. There's the Rexar for Kyle again. Because Li Ming and Anubarak are each other's counters. Like, the opposing team picks Li Ming, so you pick Anubarak. The opposing team picks the Anubarak, you pick Li Ming. And there's a Lunar coming out as well for ProBUs, as an offside note there. Because Beetles from Anubarak block Li Ming's skill shots, so he's a counter. But Li Ming, Laser, drawing a blank on what the actual level 10 name is. I know what the 20 name is, Archon Power. Burns Cocoon down. So they're both each other's counters, which is fascinating. It's probably one of the most fun things about HUDs. It's when you have things like that where it's just like they counter each other, so it comes down to skill. Alright, representing Xul Gin Distillery, we have Dwight on Anubarak, Cowboy Kyle on Rexar, Led on Ariel, Be Fresh on Greymane, and Inkleshot playing Kael'thas. For Team ProBUs, we have 8-Bit playing Blaze, Chaos Tank on Leoric, Secret Asian Man on Li Ming, Hong Fu playing Stukov, and Tuna Breath on Lunara. Alright. Welcome to Towers of Doom. Game 3 of Division D East. Xul Gin Distillery versus ProBUs. Right off the bat, we have Force Armor coming out from Ariel. Trying to gain a little bit of extra spell armor, as well as has the extra mana regen. Excuse me. Below 35%. We're gonna get the Sentinel Wisp.
3, 2,
Easy Prey. Some Beetle build coming out. Swift and Addict. Austin Renewal. Alright. So, now we have the teams focusing up here in mid. We have January Leoric. There's the Silence onto Anubarak. Actually got a little health, but he's going to regen most of that out pretty quickly there. There's the Sunshine coming out into Blaze. Will they have enough to save him? It looks like they do. 16 health! 16 health, and Blaze gets out of there. That is the power of main tank Blaze right there. 16 health and gets out every day of the week. Not really. Well played 8-Bit. Alright, we're going to get a safe rotation from Secret Asian Man Hung Fu there. We have the Wisp being saved by Tuna. She understands you gotta save that. Not even close, he says. Not even close. That's what you call a calculated moment. So neither team's top laner has quite moved in for the double soak option yet. Chaos Tank is taking quite a bit of damage, trying to get some onto Rexar himself and not focus on Isha a little bit there. Meanwhile, ProBUs is doing what they've done well this series so far, which is go for the camp. This time it's can 8-Bit do it again? And the answer is no. He's going to be the first blood of Game 3. This means that they could go for the invade here. Oh no! Oh no, they could have capped that. If they were already on it, they could have capped it, but instead the camp will be stolen away by Xul Gin Distillery, who also, by the way, is going to cocktail build on the Grey Man. There goes their sidewall and tower. What a shame. Shame. Look at it sitting there. The Smoky Rebel. Alright, now Xul Jin's going to go for their camp. Meanwhile, York is actually getting pushed pretty heavily backwards by this Rexar. Needs to be a little bit careful here. Potentially. I don't know if he still has his Ossian up. He's going to look for the double soak now. Maybe? Nope. Goes back top lane. Goes back top lane. ProBUs is starting to fall behind in XP a little bit here. And, meanwhile, that's off of B-Fresh can go for that mid lane soak for his team. Tune is going to prance her way up here to grab the objective here. It's the gate. Sad. This looks very strong. Alright, so now the first objective, and as always, it's a 3 altar objective. So, Xul Jin has the option to maybe invade both top. Nope. Give one look for pickoffs. Let's see what they choose here. I don't know what they were going for. Alright, so top lane will most likely just trade, and bot lane will fight. There's a nice orb from Li Ming. Does have... I don't want to know how to say that. The orb talent at 4. There's the Sun to Nubrak. There is the popping of the orb on him as well, giving back the mana and cooldown. Meanwhile, Greyman almost got the whole objective channel already. 8-Bit is going to dive in there a little bit, saving Tuna Breath there on Lunara. There's some more poke damage onto a Nubrak. Will they have enough? Try to save the Ariel heal a little bit, but the silence comes out, and it's going to be enough to pop 2 in a row real quick for Team ProBUs. Rexar and Leo both on the soak duty already. Tune is going to finish the channels there. 8-Bit's going to charge to say, no one can walk this way. Walk this way. But he's just going to get stunned against the wall, because Ariel likes to stun people with her whip. Alright, so they're going to start sieging down here on the bot lane here. Hung Fu keeping the silence on the gate. That is super annoying. Honestly, Stukov is probably one of my least favorite heroes to play against, because the silence is obnoxious. Alright, but ProBUs is going to back off in favor of getting their camp. They are ahead in XP now. The Orc is going to finish up there in the mid lane, grabbing that XP a little bit. It's just going to Wraith walk away from the Grey Man. Looks like we're going to get a full like Q-build orb hybrid coming out from Li Ming here. There's a charge forward, but is unable to connect the stun, but Nubrak's going to charge underneath and run in and stun out to make sure Kael'thas is A-okay. Meanwhile, you do have a nice solid wave plus Merc there in the bot lane pushing forward for Team ProBUs. Probably wants to try to finish this tower real quick, so that way none of the shots accidentally go into it. They are going to secure it there with the Blaze Q. There goes the gate. There goes... Well, the tower's dead off the poison there, but it's stun onto Ariel, and do they have the damage to pop it off? There's the huge damage from Q coming out, but it's actually ankle shot there in the back who's going to be the first to fall in this engage. Hung Fu's going to work on healing up his team there, and Led's going to wait for energy. Does have the crown on a Nubrak. Is going to be able to get some extra one there. Glimmer of Hope. Oh. Regen Globe. Talent. It's interesting. Played around with it before. It's solid. It's solid if you don't have the best energy generators. Able to basically get two bits of energy out of, or 2 heals out of just 1 mana bar, effectively. We're going to do some damage there onto Misha, and Secret Asian Man's going to take a living bomb for the interrupt. Going to start the soak again, but meanwhile Misha is going to stun down Loba. But there's a Nubrak going to dig forward for the Ariel, but it's going to be the whip onto Hung Fu there. That's the big pressure onto ProBUs, and they're going to start backing off here, looking for a more advantageous position. They're going to interrupt the Ariel channel there with the Q from Blaze. Should have tried to aim the silence a little bit better, but it was solid, alright. Any silence is a solid silence. But the channel was finished on the side of Xul Gin Distillery, as you saw it fly across the screen there. Now they're going to try to kill... They can't kill Chaos Tank. He's probably got Wraith Walk here. And 8-Bit's going to back from mana. We'll see how much pushing they want to do here on the side of Xul Gin, or are they just going to back off? Alright, Cowboy Kyle might go. Nope, Tau Camp is still gone for 30 seconds. Meanwhile, you do have the bot lane position going back over to ProBUs here as they're setting up pretty aggressively for not having their tank. 10's pretty close to ProBUs here. If they're able to get 10 and then run up and take the tower before Xul Gin really gets 10, they'll be a really solid position for them. Looks like they're going to try to get 10 off of the Siege Champ. So get the Siege Champ, get 10, and then like rush down here and try to get a kill. You still have a minute on this, so you can't just go for double camp play here. Never mind, they don't have enough time as 10s are picked up by both teams. You do have Cocoon and Rez. Combustion again, Entomb, Wave of Force, Flailing Swipe, and Leaping Strike. Would have liked to see the beam into Cocoon. That's part of the reason they're mutual counters. It is the Pyroblast Bullet combo coming out from Xul Gin, though. Excited for that one. Let's take a sip, because I feel like we're about to see all the ults come out at once. Boris for Rexar, by the way. Alright. There's the ultra. If they won't fight before that, they'll definitely fight for that. 8-bit could have had a solid 4-minute stun there, too. But that's alright. Throws out some oil. Probably wants to save cooldowns. You don't want to really be played super risky right before the objective comes up like this, especially if they have the res option. There's Cocoon onto Blaze. There's the silence, but it's going to be interrupted. But there's the bullet and Cocoon. Pyroblast onto Hung Fu. He will be able to heal himself up in time. Be able to tap as well. There's combustion coming out. It's going to be enough to make sure that the Greymane goes down. If they're able to zone the Ariel away, there will be no res value here as the silence comes out onto Ariel as well. I don't know if that was a misclick or they purposely did that, but there is the Entomb onto a Nubrek. The orb does miss because of it, but it doesn't matter because the Nubrek goes down to, and honestly, just a lot of Seeker value here for this Leeming. Props on that for landing all these Qs so consistently. I recognize that. Alright. Ariel's just going to let herself res up through time. Doesn't want to risk the res and then die because you're already behind your team. But the siege coming out from ProBUs once again. Meanwhile, Leo is back on that double soaking duty. So we do have them pushing up here. We'll see what ends up happening. Xul Jin's doing their best to just clear waves. Keep them from pushing up the best too much here into this tower, but they have lost a little under half, or a little over half. They have a little under half left. Now you have this siege camp is available, or ProBUs can look for a gank on Rexar. I'm intrigued. They do know Secret Agent. They saw him watching the bush. They do check it, but he runs away. Knowing what's best. This would be a serious choke to see a fight in right now. But instead, ProBUs is up here playing it safe, getting XP. And Xul Jin's going to go away over here. Now, it looks like they're going to use Cowboy Kyle to get that siege camp going here. And the rest of the team is going to rush boss, maybe. Nope, Chaos Tank checks it. They're going to back off. They're going to go down here for the siege camp as it's already being invaded there by 8-bit. Now they're split. There comes the Boers. There's the big split, though. Now it's going to be Hung Fu here in trouble in the backline. Meanwhile, Cowboy Kyle is going to fall down to Lunara there in the backline. The Cocoon is on Li Ming currently. Ankle shot taking damage from Leoric and gets the Entomb onto him. 8-bit is going on him. Stukov has already fallen. Tuna and 8-bit here looking for the fight of their life. It's D White going to go down next. Ariel is going to get the res on him, but it doesn't matter. It's 2 more fall, and the res actually did not go out in time. It is a 2 for 5 trade in favor of ProBUs here. Right as the objective spawns, and they have the camp available. And look at all these golden shiny ghosts. I wish they just always had this effect. This is nice to be able to see the death spots like this. Who it is and where they died. Maybe it'd be annoying eventually. Tuna should hold this. They push this in, it takes this. They could have gotten 5 shots. But it's alright. Secure the objective while you can. This is... Oh, could have pushed this in. Come on, guys. It's alright, though. Let's see. Will this proc? Nope, it's going to stop just in time. So now it's going to give them an opportunity to clear here on the side of Xul Gin. That's exactly what they wanted right now. Well, they're pretty happy. And now, ProBUs will pick up this camp. Secret Asian Man is going to get that regen globe. Probably wishes he had a little bit more mana in case he wanted to pop off right now with the resets. Looks like we're going to get some auto attack talent out of the Leoric. The Wisp is giving them vision. They do see him here. They do see him walking up here as well. There's the stun on to 2 from the Blaze. There's the bullet coming out as well. The silence from Stukov being dirty there, as well as they're going to pop the Nubrek. Before Cocoon came out, the animation did start. I did see that. There's the Regs onto a Nubrek. Are they going to wait for it? They're going to start poking him down with the Lunara there. But he's alright. Alright. So you popped a couple... There's Boars onto Leo. But He looks a-okay. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, you have 8-Bit going to charge out with the Living Bomb. He's going to dodge to make sure he doesn't spread that to any. Meanwhile, Xul Gin Distillery is taking some poke damage, but not super low yet. 8-Bit's going to tap up here and maybe look for this. You have Pyroblast Bullet still available here. As there goes the Bullet onto Blaze, he's going to get Pyroblasted to Wells, the combo we talked about earlier in draft. And it's a 1-for-nothing trade. As 16 talents are now picked up in favor of ProBUs. Refresh kind of low. Probably going to tap right now. Watch him go tap. Yep, there we go. Called it. Look at my little monkey's play. Alright, so Xul Gin Distillery is going to go for bot and Thirst Tide top. And ProBUs is just going to secure theirs. Playing it okay. ProBUs does still have the shot advantage, and that means a lot. They can play around with the health of their core a little bit. Chaos Tank is going to scout this out. Are they going to go for it? Are they going? They're looking for the Leo. They know he's been double soaking. They have this nice wall here, Vision, but they don't catch him in time. They are going to go for him down here. Does he get the Wraith Walk off in time? Bullet. Great main combo? Nope, he's going down. They understand Chaos Tank was the major XP component of ProBUs, so by picking him off, they're free to go for boss, potentially. So it looks like ProBUs will make the smart play here. Give boss, take bottom, which I feel like is the stronger play on their end. Like, bottom lane is just super strong. So they're going to get bottom here, and then they're going to get this, and they have potential for 3 more shots, right? And with 3 more shots, they basically traded, once again, 4 shots for 3 shots, but they get the building. And that's huge. Buildings are big, especially in the bot lane. Next objective is right here as well. I don't know why I didn't just scroll over to it, but because it's here, it really limits the amount of options from Xul Gin how they want to approach it, right? They can either come through this tiny choke, or they come through this tiny choke, and they're always going to be approaching from this corner. Meanwhile, normally you'd also have this option, or you could wrap here, or go super far back and wrap here. So you'd almost have to defend like 3/4 of the circle here, no matter which side you're on. But instead, they only have to defend this tiny bit here. But meanwhile, the Cocoon went out into Blaze, but he's going to get bulleted right after. He's walking deeper into the enemy team to make sure he gets that combustion value. Ariel is going to get the security blow, but the silence is on Misha currently. Pyroblast is going out onto Lunar, but she was full health, so it didn't really matter. Meanwhile, Greyman is going to fall in the back, but they're just going to res him up. It almost looked like it was on purpose that they let him fall. Meanwhile, Kel'Thuz is going to fall. Ming is going to get bumped into the Death Stone, is going to fall, but is going to take Ariel with her. Meanwhile, Leoric is going to secure the objective, and they're going to back off down here. A 2-for-2 trade. Not really in favor of anyone, but Chaos Tank there, able to secure the objective, so they got 5 more shots before losing that building. Dwight here is going to look for the invade. The 1-man versus 2-man invade. He's going to scout it out. There's the stun coming out from him now. They don't realize he's alone just yet. They're going to let him stand there for a little bit, potentially give it to him. He's going to start backing off, taking a little bit of damage. But there's the swipes from Hong Fu to zone him out, and the camp will be secured in favor of Team ProBUs. That will probably just be cleaned up now by Xul Gin Distillery. Alright, so Leoric is pushing up here mid. He's got the Wraith Walk. He's going to start moving. There's the bullet from Greymane. But he's going to be stunned out there by the Nubrak. Do they have enough follow-up damage while he's healing up? And the answer is going to be yes, with the Ariel Whip there to help secure it in the end. Did take repeating offense. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, you do have 2 sappers left that they're trying to push up, but they know to back off because Xul Gin has been pretty good about getting a pick on Leo and then running after them. Also, Leo was giving them vision the whole time because he's a little ghost. Alright, so now they're pushing up here, and now bot lane pressure is starting to go over in favor of Xul Gin as they secure the rest of bot wall. Next objective is here once again. And, it's interesting. It doesn't normally double spawn like that. But that's alright, because both teams have the objective. And as we talked about before, you kind of have to almost defend 3/4 of the circle. But it looks like they're going to look for maybe the Leoric kill as soon as he respawns. But he's playing it safe. He's going behind the gate once again. They have the Whisper Vision here on the side of ProBUs. 8-Bit stepped up there into the bush. They're going to cocoon the Ming once again. Ming has been a big proprietor of the damage coming out from Team ProBUs. They're not able to get anything onto him. The silence was able to interrupt the Pyroblast, or maybe it was the Blaze, I'm not quite sure. There goes the bullet and the Ariel Whip onto Blaze. He's getting kind of low. The Greymane going to jump in. There's the Entomb, but it only really hits Misha. Leaving Leaping Strike onto Misha, and then followed by the Greymane to try to get out. 8-Bit needs to back off on the Blaze and tap. Both teams going to start to disengage here. We have the Res Pyroblast on one side, Wave of Force on the other. As 20 talents are now picked up for ProBUs. That should secure him this objective. But we'll have to see how it plays out. There's the Blade Stun onto a Nubarek. There's the Q missing from Leoric there. And Kael'thas is doing... He's got the double strike here, and he used it. We saw that. There's the bullet onto Blaze once again. They're going to steal away the camp. The objective hasn't spawned yet. I thought that they were fighting for the objective the whole time. They were just fighting for funsies. Sometimes you just need a fight for fun. But the game just gets boring. But that's alright, because that's exciting for us. The Mithril Mace quest finished up here on the side of York. There's the silence onto Misha. There's this Entomb onto 2 Misha and a Nubarek. There's all the damage going onto Nubarek the best they can, but he's still alive. He's taking up with the W's, and it's going to be Misha who's going to fall next. Meanwhile, ProBUs is going to eat the bullet there onto Leoric. Meanwhile, they're still pushing up here, and they pop the Nubarek. Can they get the res off in time? The answer is no. Kael'thas is going to be the next to fall, and they're looking to pressure out the Ariel. They're going to pop her next. This is more resets on this Ming. This is what we were talking about. She's really good at team fighting. Meanwhile, Bfresh is in a really bad position. He's trying to look for Chaos Tank. Maybe he can trade out, but the answer is no. He's going to be the next to fall. And now Ariel is going to res, hat the Rexar, and they're going to look for defense on the double altar objective. This will be GG if ProBUs is able to get this. This will be a reverse sweep. You have Chaos Tank on the bot, it looks like, and you have Tuna on the top. And they're trying to do a 1-1 split. But Led understands he can't get the bottom, so they're just going to go for top lane now. They're doing the stun onto Misha. Do they go for Misha? No, they're going to pop Ariel. It looks like that's going to be their target of choice. These Wave of Force level 20 is doing really well for them on the side of ProBUs. There's a reset because they got the kill, but they missed the Entomb because of the Wave of Force. But it doesn't matter. It was finished channeling, and that is GG going over to ProBUs 2-1 in the reverse sweep fashion. Whew, what an exciting series. Game 3. Exciting. Alright. Rexar goes self-healing, which is really just healing Misha. Because let's be honest, Rexar is a healer plus a bruiser. Which is, Rexar is a healer. Misha. Siege Jammers, though, really going over in favor of the Orc, which kind of makes sense. We saw him do the double soak a lot in that favor. Let's just whisper them real quick to see if they want an interview. But all around, solid series. Thank you for both teams for waiting for me again. That was nice of you. And that was fun. Need to figure out... shit, I closed my Discord. It took away the camera. Gotta relaunch that real quick. Let's find a channel. That'll be one. Alrighty.
Majesty, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you, 8-Bit? For those of you who are watching, you don't. Oh, not talking.
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Congratulations on your reverse sweep.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I think those were probably. I think those are. No, they are easily the most intense games we've played all season. XGD is always an amazing competitor.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go back to game 1, which was feels like forever ago. Game 1 was on.
Tomb of the
Spider. Yes, thank you.
Yes, so long we forgot.
Yes, Tomb of the Spider Queen. A map that ended with a 1-kill differential. Am I whispering? I'm sorry. Hold on, let me turn myself up then. Alright, so you guys banned out ETC Stukov. Were those target bans, or were those just bans you didn't like? You banned ETC every game, so I imagine that at least was a target ban.
Yeah, so we certainly checked what they like and what they tend to run with, and XGD is well known for their ETC play. It's sort of storied through the seasons. And of course, Stukov is a very popular hero, particularly for them this season, and they've done very well with him. So that was the thinking along those lines there.
All right, all right. Was the Johanna target ban against you guys? Is that something you guys have been running, or do you think that's just a tank that they find obnoxious because she's solid and hard to kill?
I'm pretty sure that they didn't want to see my Johanna today. I think they feel that it's my strongest of tanks, and kind of really they gave me a lot of target bans all day today. So they really wanted to challenge me to perform on something other than the 7, 8, 9 odd tanks that ended up getting removed every match.
Yes, yes. In game three, I was rooting for the Uther tank, and I was like, all right, we'll take Blaze main tank. Um, Uther tank's a personal favorite though, or Xul tank. Xul tank would be spicy.
Zool tank. We're still working on the Zeratul tank.
Ah,
It's a little tough to pull off, but if you get it just right.
Valera tank's a real thing at least. Against double mage, she's a real good tank actually. Um, a stun set up into a blind and 75 spell armor, so it's really hard for them to kill.
I could see that. Valera's got a lot of she's got a lot of tools that are basically in a tank kit, except for, like 3 odd hit points or something like that. But you can work around that.
Yeah, you can work around health points. That's what.
Yeah.
Just need level 20 Alex Straza and give her 500 more health.
Oh, there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah. All right. So game one, you guys were ahead. They had turned in possibility, and you guys were trying to defend the objectives that turn in.
Mm-hmm.
And then a fight breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your head at that point? Were you guys thinking that's GG? Were you thinking, alright, they have turn in, but we can defend spiders? Were you expecting the boss spider combination?
We were expecting the boss spider combination. We thought, since we had so much in structures, that there was still a chance that we could have defended that. We knew it was going to be rough because it was going to be tough to get really anything done even before it hit the fort. I kind of realized that it was a moment that had in potential and could go one way or the other. It was kind of a sad moment for me personally because we had played so well to that moment, and just sort of left one slip up, one miss on the team fight. And we were given over the map. That being said, XGD played the fight just about picture perfect, and there's a good reason that they won that map. So it was, we kind of watched it and we saw the potential that could come out here, and we were just sort of like, all right, we're gonna do our best to salvage the situation, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough on that one map.
Alright. Did you feel targeted in that on Melganis? Were there constant taunts and bullets?
Most certainly. I think like a variant taunt into a bullet, into a hunter's mark, into whatever Kael'thas is going to dump on your head is, yeah, you most certainly feel targeted. And it was sometimes there was a few moments there that I was able to sort of live through all that, largely through the good graces of my healer, and if I wasn't, fortunately Ariel had my back with the reses. So it was there was definitely a target on my head, there's no doubt about it, and I just kind of like, all right, this one's not going to look good for the KDA, but that's how it goes.
Alright. Alright, so then in game 2, we went to Infernal Shrines. And this was almost the exact opposite story of game 1. Where you guys kind of were behind at first, and then you guys won the one level 16 fight, and then won the game.
The irony of that was not lost on us.
You had a couple horror rotations on Murden, where you would run into them, and you have the Garrosh throw, the Durance of Hate.
Yes. Yeah, no, they XGD is very good at that CC chain. Much better so than most teams here in Div D. So um, it definitely took a while to sort of make the adjustments that I can't quite be as aggro on my Muradin as I normally am. And I definitely paid the price for it, quite a lot there in game two in particular. With a Garrosh comp like they had and the skill that they bring to the table, I mean, they can absolutely reach into a bush and take out any hero 100-0. So yeah, it was an adjustment I had to make, and try and make safer rotation for sure. I think I apologized to my team in comms. It's like, yeah, see, this one's on me, guys. I'm really sorry.
Right,
Can
and
I still be on the team?
then we head into Game 3, Towers of Doom, which probably played to your favor because you guys got ahead again. Then 16's hit, and that's when you lost the fight. And you lost some of that map control again, and it probably any other map you guys probably would have lost right there.
Ah.
And every game would have just been a win once level 16 fight and win the game, which would have been a funny storyline for the night.
It would be a funny storyline. To some degree, I think you could say that most of Heroes of the Storm right now comes down to a level 16 fight, but
A lot of people say 20, but you guys were doing just like 16's all we need. That's
16's all we need. Yeah, we're fine. We're good from here, everybody.
This game's been going on long enough. Let 16. We'll just call it quits at 16. All right.
Yeah.
You guys. After you guys lost that, they went for a boss, and you guys were able to just take bottom, keep, and you held that for a while. You got a couple shots off with that, and that kind of secured you guys. At one point, I think it was like 7-28. And at what point did you guys go, all right, we have it in the bag, this game's ours?
When the final shots are going on core.
Always a solid answer.
Yeah, it was. So I think late there we had the post 20 fight. We were able to get 2 or 3 picks. We were fortunate enough to roll straight into a double altar phase, which was all we needed. And it was, all right, get these 2, defend these 2. They're still going to contest. And at that point you're feeling pretty good. Taking double altars in I forget if it was a 5v2 or 5v3. I think it was a 5v2.
2. It was
Yeah,
Ariel Rexar because she just rinsed.
Yes, you obviously feel good in that situation, but you never want to. You still need to execute. You still need to hold the shrines and still need to channel them. So no, I and particularly against an opponent like XGD that we've had such a storied history with, you don't feel good until the final shots are hit in the core.
All right. Any thoughts on the series overall?
Oh, they were amazing games. I'm certainly good friends with those guys. Loved Wit. He's got one of the best HOTS minds that I know out there. Fun to chat with him, and all of our series have always been 1-2 splits, but we've always been the loser of those 1-2 splits. So I was just so happy today to finally kind of overcome that and get the better of our match today. But it's just it's the first of many to come. We go straight into playoffs next week, and it's very likely that this will be a matchup that rehashes down the line.
You guys are now Division D East, rank 1, by 1 point.
By 1 point.
Cho has one less game. You guys have a game later this week, don't you? Is that who you're facing?
We're facing Bancho. We're facing Bancho Thursday night, just after they finish their final match against Franksburgers.
So let's see. Let's say that goes 2-1 in your favor. You end up with 26 points. They win a 2-1 in their other game, and then they have 1 point from you guys, and that's a tie. And then you guys win the tiebreaker because you beat them. If they 2-0 their other game, then you have to 2-0 them.
Yes, I don't think there's. So I think at this stage, no matter how Bancho's first match goes, we will be playing for the 1 seed. I think that's now set in stone now, if my math is correct on this.
Um,
So
because well, if they 2-0 it, then they have a chance for first. If they then they could if they 2-0 it, then they. You're right. You're right. Yeah. No matter what, it comes down to that, I believe.
yep. So it's definitely it's a climactic way to end the season. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Very exciting. Some exciting action down in Div D East. Um, is there anyone on the west side of Division D that you're looking at, or are you guys just preparing for the teams you're facing right now before looking to the other half?
We're taking it one step at a time. I think there's a lot of strong competitors here in Div D East this year. Certainly this game today could have gone either way, and there's a good chance that XGD and of course Bancho and IMF, Frankfurters, all the rest are going to get a chance their own shot at the title as well. So yeah, we're not counting our chickens before they hatch. The West Coast is a long ways off, so got to get there first.
For sure. Any shout outs you want to do?
Definitely a shout out to my team, including poor Aruba, who was sick today. A shout out to XGD and all my friends over there on the other side. Shout outs to you, Majesty. Thank you so much for the cast. Shout outs to Jay Sill, who has been kind enough to coach us over the last season and a half or so. Your advice is always invaluable. Shout out to anyone who's ever given us advice. And finally, shout out to my lovely wife, who I hope is still watching.
Hello, 8-Bit's wife, if you're watching. All right then. Well, thank you to both teams for putting on such a great show, and congratulations, ProBUs, for taking home the victory. Of course, also thank you both teams for waiting for me to get home from work. Sorry it wasn't a proper bow tie cast, but it was. I didn't feel like you guys wanted to wait another couple months for me to go through all that effort.
I'll tell you what. I'll mail you a clip-on.
That's what I have. I just didn't have the right shirt for it. Shout out to NGS, of course, for putting it all together, and shout out to all you folks watching. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you next time in the Nexus.